Okay, good evening, everyone. We start formally the today's session, which is the course introduction for Data 650, which we usually run for the student in all sections. This semester, we have two sections of Data 650, and we will have as a host the professor and the technology assistant for both sections all together. Both sections are full to the cap and over full, let's put it this way. They are above the cap, both sections. So hopefully we will have a lot of discussion because both sections are full. So today, in this presentation is myself, Elena Gorcheva. I'm a professor since 2002. And in addition to that, I'm the program director for the Master of Science in Data Analytics. I started my career long ago as a computer engineering major, and I changed, as you understand, during 30 years, many different subjects, including artificial intelligence, machine learning. 30 years ago, we were doing neural network in different fashion than today, but we can talk about this later in the class, in discussion. Everyone will have the opportunity to share professional experience, which is very important because we learn more. We are in a topic which has evolved by integration of different fields. So sharing professional experience and what you are doing is very important to advance. So regarding myself, in addition, something important besides professional career, we will have some informal exchange in the class in the introduction section. But I want to tell you that my main goal is that everyone is as much prepared as possible for the best career in their life. I'm very passionate, and that's why I'm dedicated for 30 years in education, and I'm running in addition the program as a program director to make sure students are prepared for the best possible outcome in their life. That is about me. The professor for the other section, Ozan, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yes, Professor. Thank you so much. So my name is Ozan Özkan. I have been teaching at UMGC for like 5 years and teaching this course, I guess, 2 to 3 years right now. I taught other courses as well. And in the industry, I'm working in IT and I'm working as Agile coach, which is like a teaching the Agile project management methodology. So I'm teaching in industry as well right now. And I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and very productive semester.
So we have, in addition to the professor, since we are in very technology packed course, like most of the courses in the data analytic program, this is one which has, let's say, most technology that every other one. So you will see, I don't want to scare you. This is actually the exciting stuff. This is actually the big data. Big data was born with the technology. So that's why we have with us the two technology support specialists, which are Elena Batinskaya and Linish Dev. They both, the interesting thing, are graduates for our programs. Well, Elena, not directly from the master degree in data science, but in databases. And Linish is the first quorum graduated for this program, which was in which year, Linish?
Yeah, that was 2016.
Yes, great. So, Elena, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yes. So I have been with UMGC for 12 years, maybe a little longer, and I see a lot of familiar names in the course roster. And I think most of you remember me from the other coursework, including DBST. I used to be DBST TA a long time ago. So I wish everybody good luck. And also another thing, remember that sometimes during the semester, I like to tell you what not to do. So pay close attention. It's because there were some lesson learned from past semesters. Okay, so all right, Linesh, your turn.
Sure. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Linesh Dave, and I'll be partnering with Yelena as a TA for this class. And I've been in IT for nearly 30 years now, with last 7 years of my career dedicated to data analytics, and especially after being one of the first batch of students to graduate few years ago, as Professor Yelena just mentioned, from the same program that you're all part of now. So not too long ago, I was one of the students of this class. I've been in your shoes, and every time we start with a new semester, it brings me back the memories I have, from the time I started with my Data 650 class. So although technology has evolved a lot during the past few years, one thing that hasn't really changed is how you would approach this class and become successful. So my one big advice to you is to listen to all the words of wisdom you would hear from both your professors, Elena and Ozan, and also Elena as well, because they bring in lots of experience here. And if they ask you to start early with your assignments to finish on time, they are not saying it for the sake of, trust me, rather by experience. They've seen quite a number of students either late with their assignments or not complete it at all and fail. So listen and practice everything they say, and success will be yours. With that, good luck to everyone, and I'll look forward to working with each of you. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. I think you get some feeling already where you are. That is a little different than in other classes. So the agenda today, formally, we are going to give you the introduction besides what you have already reviewed within the syllabus, and you will be able to ask questions. So we will focus in the outline of the course, grading, assignment, the technology, how to use, and some important thing regarding with the activity for each week. So this is, you may think this is like repetition in what is in writing in the classroom. In general, yes, but just in different fashion, so you don't miss any point. And the most important, you can ask question. I mean, it's just life experiences, other acts in addition to what is written, right? So, with no more, uh, just why start what is big data? You already know what is big data. You have been talking about this for the whole program and maybe before that, and everyone in the last 10 years is talking about big data. This has been for 10 years a high word, not anymore, already displaced, but AI, but right there. So it's not about to tell you what it is because you already know. It's just to focus what we are going to focus in this very dilute topic. Why I'm saying dilute? Because still many people have quite different idea that this is just huge amount of data. And so what you do with this? The thing in our classes is how we get insight from data. And if we talk about what is named as big data, actually because it's beyond our ability to search, store, analyze, and visualize with the existing technology, and we have to look for new technology, you understand that by this definition, we will be talking a lot of new technology. Because actually, it's not about the size of the data we are going to talk in the class. What we are going to do in the class is using technology to get insight for what is big data. And when we talk about big data, you understand that we will talk about also about different skill as a data scientist you may have, about new approaches, not just the machine learning you learned in 630 and 640, as a formal method, they are the same method, But with the new technologies in big data, they applied a little difference. And that is what we are going to do in this class. So you will be using everything up to here, just with the focus how to deal specifically when we talk about big data. And of course, we will be using new tools. So get prepared. There is a lot to learn. Of course, you will enjoy if you dedicate the time, if you really want to learn and to prepare for better for your career. I'm totally positive that you will enjoy what we are going to learn in this class. So I'm not going to repeat. I have few slides as an overview of big data, which is just formally to review what you already have in previous classes, not just the size of the data, the structure of the data, the complexity to process this data, but also the type of the data. How big data was born by the necessity of industry. Like everything, the industry needs something and the technology has to provide what is up to, of course, what is possible up to, because if the technology has to provide what is reasonable as a price for consumption. So that was the evolution when in 2010, a company like YouTube, Twitter start producing huge amount of data. We start talking about different dimensions like exabyte, which today this is small data anyway. And talk about different structure to store this data, to search this data, and to get insight of this data. So first appear were the NoSQL databases, the key value databases, and then appeared with the volume new computational tools to get insight for this data, which was MapReduce. So Hadoop was born from this necessity. Of course, everyone, when thinks about big data class, thinks, oh, we are going to learn Hadoop. Yes, we are going to learn something about Hadoop, what is possible in few weeks. The thing is, this was technology 10 years ago. Everything has evolved. Hadoop still exists as a reality in many companies, but this is already old technology. So we will study as much as needed in order to be able to manage what already, because if companies spend a lot of money in some technology, you understand even new technology are displacing this. They are not going to get right of this because they need a return of investment. So even though there are many new tool technology like Spark, in memory analytic to deal with big data, still Hadoop is there. So we will focus in Hadoop just like this. And before that, I want to point your attention on this pyramid. Very important when you think about big data. Very important when you focus to the problem you are going to solve. Think about the type of the data you have. So that is the first thing as a data scientist and data analyst you have to focus, because according to the type of data, you will look for the technology and the method to get insight from this data. So today we're talking about the huge amount of data is totally unstructured data. Everyone in any type of company, in any type, is dealing with textual data and images, which are the unstructured data. That's why the bottom part of the pyramid is huge, is what is the foundation of the pyramid. Then maybe you can get a problem with a little some quasi-structured or semi-structured data, which can make things a little easier than deal with free text, English speaking. So then the method, if you deal with, let's say, data file, which are HTML data file, you can do, there is some structure and you can use a little different method and technology to get insight for this data. So it's very important. And of course, in this case, you don't have to go to what is free text and use the method to get insight from the free text. They are adequate method to deal with quasi-structured and semi-structured data. So very important, every time you think about the problem as a data scientist, data analyst, you are going to think about the type of data. And of course, the structured data, we have this worked very well for more than 25 years. The databases are there. The SQL databases are there to deal with structured data, Today, this is the smallest portion of data you will find in any place you will work. It doesn't matter if it's in healthcare, in any company, in the government, the smallest portion of the data will be structured. But of course, every time you are going to work with the structured data, you have to think that you have to use the methods which are totally okay to get insight from them. So that's why I want to stress very much on this. This is very important part when you deal as a data scientist, data analyst about the problem you're going to solve. This is one portion I want to talk about when we talk about big data, about structured and unstructured. And of course, I want that you return the PowerPoint presentation is going to be posted in addition to the recording of this session today. So you have the opportunity to overview this slide and see for the different type of data, how to focus and how to categorize that your data is in this category, in that category, and what method to use according semi-structured, quasi-structured, or totally unstructured data. So I want to focus that since the huge amount of big data is what is unstructured data, text and images, we mostly are going to focus on that. And why? Because that is the main complexity today, which we as a data scientist have to focus with the existing tool and method because of the complexity of the natural language processing. Fortunately, there is huge advance in this area, but you must understand. So I very like this slide, which present the thing in graphical way very well to understand the complexity of the natural language and why the processing is so complex and why as a data analyst in whichever company you work to get insight, it doesn't matter in security, in law enforcement, in government, in healthcare, the processing of free text has quite, let's say, challenging step. And this is just simply because even when we speak each other, if you see the examples I have with bulleted point, you will have to think about how to interpret each of them. So why in the world we say that how a house can burn up if it is burning down? So that's are the complexity of the natural language, and you understand in order for a computer algorithm to understand this nuance of the natural language, there is needed, and you know what, a lot of data and machine learning to train this machine, to train the model in order to understand this complexity as much as possible. And you understand that this way, what we evolve to is to the new hype word, which is AI, which is actually the evolution of big data with machine learning. So this is where we stand today, and we will focus in this course in this direction. The evolution of big data permitted the machine learning model are trained and are performing much better. And then we're talking about the evolution of the merge of machine learning and big data toward what is the contemporary AI, which is the hype word today, which is quite different what the classical AI. The classical AI was focused in what is theorem, how to prove theorem, and was focused in algorithm. The today contemporary AI is focused on data because thanks to data, the machine learning can get close to many tasks which human can do. And this is what we see in each corner of our life today. And this is what we see when we deal with textual data, with images data. This is just machine learning with big data, and this is what is the today AI. And of course, we will be heavily focusing in what is the contemporary AI, artificial intelligence based on huge amount of data and machine learning. So if there are any question up to here, I can pause and take the question. You can write it or you can unmute yourself and ask question. You, of course, in order not to forget your question, you can put them in the chat. I don't see anything by now in the chat, but if you cannot interrupt at the moment I'm speaking, just put your question and we will return. So you don't forget is related with what we are talking in the current slide, and we will address this question as soon as possible. I don't see anything by now. If anybody wants to comment something, free to unmute yourself. Okay, I see something coming. When we will get some code example of Hadoop or HBase. Well, in the reading, you have some example, and when the assignment open, you will have some example. So the way it is designed, you first have to understand the concept. Going directly to the code is not the helpful way to do things and to learn. I understand many of you are tempted, are pressed by availability of time, and you think the only thing which is great assignment, I have to complete the assignment and I have to do it, and there is a code in this, okay? So for the first thing, which is actually Hadoop and HBase, in which we are going to spend only 2 weeks, because as already mentioned, this is technology 10 years ago. Many companies still have it because it's expensive, but this is already faced by new technology, which is Spark in memory analytic, and we are going to move fast to this. So the code you are going to get is pseudocode for the first assignment. You're not going, MapReduce is quite complicated, let's put it this way. And in order for you to code something in MapReduce, you must have just a course on MapReduce. Let's put it this way. And you must be programmer before coming to this. So in this case, you are not data analyst, you are data engineer. So as a data analyst, what we want from you is to get the insight, which are different tools in the Hadoop ecosystem, which are built to make the life of the data analyst manageable. So you will use a SQL-like tool, NoSQL-like tool, which is the HBase. And for this first part, we are going to use what is pseudocode, and we have some example in the classroom. If you cannot locate, just pose your question and it will be answered. In the classroom, we have place to ask question, but is in the reading, and in the assignment, some example of pseudocode. Other questions? Did I answer your question? Okay. If no more, I'm going to proceed forward with this very important mesh. We are going to talk about the contemporary AI, which is machine learning with big data. Okay. The question is, we are not going to go into Hadoop in detail. Definitely no. Definitely no. Detail in Hadoop, you would need at least dedicated 12, 14 week just on Hadoop. This is not going to be a class on big data, then it's going to be a class in Hadoop. And the class you are in is big data analytic. Think about the analytic is the driving word in the title of the course, in the description of the course, in the course objective, in the reading, in the assignment, in the lecture. So the driving word is analytic on big data. That is the course about. And I'm very glad you are asking. I don't know what is your name because it appears as a SM, what? SPM, I don't know the name of the student, asking because signed with initial, but appreciate this question because it helped to shed some light and everyone don't get confused. It's very important. You are clear from the beginning. Nobody wants to mislead anybody. Thank you, Steve. This is Steve Mattis. I assume you are in 9040 with Professor Ozan, or maybe I haven't seen your name in 9041 where I'm the instructor. But anyway, nice meeting to you. And thank you for the question. That is very important. Oh, you are in my class. Great, great, wonderful. So everyone must understand where we are going. When we say big data analytic, we are talking about the analytic on big data. That is the interpretation on what is the course about. And of course, I appreciate any question asked from different angle because we have to be clear. No misleading, no misunderstanding, and it works only when we have repeatedly asking question until total clarity is reached. Okay? So let's go forward to try to clarify the place of this AI, which I presented in the previous slide, the contemporary one, which is the merge of big data with machine learning. That's why when you read today, you will see that AI and machine learning are used indistinctly. And I'm asked every second time, is this the same thing? Well, yes and not. If we talk about contemporary AI and you say machine learning is the same like AI, you are right. That's okay. But we still have to clarify that machine learning is just a subfield in what is artificial intelligence. So I tried to present this taxonomy here in this diagram. So everyone has this as clear as possible. So why? Because this is very hype topic today. A lot of confusion because everyone knows what is AI. Everyone wants to use AI, or many people hate AI, or people think this is going to be damaged in some field by AI if used irresponsible, and so on and on and on from all or for all angles. So very important, we understand the place of machine learning, which is part of what is data science, our topic of study in this program and in this course. In this course, we focus in the data science and the technology to deal with the insight from big data. So machine learning is a subtopic, deep learning is a subtopic of machine learning, and both of them are substantial part of the today contemporary AI. So if you hear people use this indistinctly, partially is correct. And let's say is correct for the today. For the next 20 years is correct because the thing, the way they work, the technology we have, and the progress in the technology perceived in the next 20 years, we are not going to go to the classical idea of the artificial intelligence when the computer will substitute the human. We are talking about the contemporary AI where the purpose is not to substitute the human, is to help the human to be more productive, to displace the human of repetitive activity, but is in no place the contemporary AI is to displace the human. That is the difference between the classical defined in the 50s and the today AI, which is the aim is like AI can stand for artificial intelligence or for augmented intelligence is to augment human capability. And of course, for activity, which are very close the way human does, otherwise they are not artificial intelligence. So these are very important things to understand. So you understand where we are moving with our assignment when we deal with textual data and images data, which are part of these artificial intelligence and machine learning challenges in big data. Let me see, I see another question. Bell, I understand that Hadoop still in use in many companies, but you pointed out that soon is called to be replaced maybe Spark. Therefore, why are we learning Hadoop instead of any new technology? Well, because still Hadoop is there. Let me put it this way. I would like, as a program director already, to displace totally Hadoop. But the thing is, when you go to the workplace, so we are going to spend 4 weeks in Spark, solely on Spark. So our course is going to focus in the today technology, which is Spark, and in memory analytic, most of the course. But the first 2 weeks, we still need to work in all technology which is still alive. We cannot afford not to do it because maybe you will get a job in a company when they have this, they spend huge amount of money and they will be using for at least 5 years. So they need the data analyst, data scientists to work in the platform they have. So that's why we are going to spend 2 weeks in Hadoop for very general idea, which we will set the foundation so you can navigate. If the job you get is in that direction, you will have at least the foundation to from there go learn more and perform the job is assigned to you. That is why we are going still to use this technology. Maybe in 2 more years or in 1 more year, no more Hadoop in this class because there are many important topics. I'm reading here, why not Hadoop 2 or 3 instead of Hadoop 1? We're not talking about Hadoop 1 or Hadoop 2. We're talking about Hadoop as an ecosystem. We are not talking about specific version of Hadoop. We're talking in general of Hadoop ecosystem, of all the components of the Hadoop system. So it's not that we are talking about something old like Hadoop 1 and not Hadoop 3. It doesn't matter what Hadoop. Hadoop is already old-fashioned technology, and mostly is because of the complexity of MapReduce. Spark can work on top of Hadoop using Hadoop only as a storage for big data, inexpensive storage, but not as computational resources to deal and get insight for big data. So this is different, and this nuance will be clarified when we study the material from week 1 to 6. We are going to get to the detail, so you will understand what is the difference in Hadoop ecosystem, what is the difference when you work with the computation of performed by Spark, what are the different versions you can work. And it's not about the version. The version is like the compiler version. It's about the concept and what you are going to do with the available today version you are working. And everything in the class we are going to work is the last available version, because we are going to work in industry platform where the last version of the product is there, because this is what the industry demand. We are not going to work with any old-fashioned version of any of the product. I don't know if I clarify your question, and you tell me. Great. And of course, don't hesitate to continue asking questions in the class. This is part, that's why discussions are so important, and moreover in this level in the program, because in the beginning it's not so clear. But here we are talking about a lot of complexity of the technology, a lot of complexity of the topic we are covering. So asking questions and providing your input is very important. Appreciate your question. That is the way we advance. So moving on to the technology. Here is depicted the different way the analytic is done in big data, starting from spreadsheet to support BI reporting to sandbox, and today we are to the cloud. And that is the way we are going to work. Big data requires different approaches, and we are going to work instead with the traditional approach, which is to the left, where the user determine what analytical question is posed, and the information technology department spends 6 months to build the infrastructure to answer this question. So you understand, we are talking about data warehouse and to run a report. That is old story. Not that it's not useful, still in use, but this is just for small, very small portion of the problem data analyst does. The today approach with big data is totally different. First, IT deploy in the cloud all a platform or contract the services of a cloud services of a platform with all the tools necessary to do the work as a data analyst, data scientist, and you will find them there. So that is the way it works. Then for different problem, you will choose, pick and choose different tool in the cloud to solve that specific problem. And this is instantaneous. You don't have to request this from the IT, oh, I need this software. No, it's already there. And just what you are going to request is access to this software, perhaps to your information technology manager of the platform, right? So everything is there. And that is the way we are going to work in this class. We are going to work in the cloud when you will have different resources, of course, for a specific assignment, which is 3-4 week or 2-3 week, you will be directed and you have to focus, not go and explore everything, but go and focus in what we are telling you to choose and select for this specific assignment. So you will be able to learn portion of the platform and how it is useful to solve problem. So again, we are going to do the thing the same way in industry today, and in a platform which is used by industry and by many companies. So this is regarding the technology. Another important question when we talk about the course is that the assignment, you already are familiar with the program. that the assignments are based in what is competence-based, and you will have fewer assignments, which are kind of project, like 4 projects for this course, 4 assignments, in which you first learn the concept, then you see the technology, which we have a lot of help to overcome the learning curve, and you use this technology to apply what you have learned and submit as an assignment. So delineating this step, you understand, let me put it this way. You cannot go directly to the code and go directly to the assignment. You must have at least the mandatory reading. Otherwise, if you jump and go directly to the code and try to do the assignment, what is going to happen? Well, in many cases, you can get frustrated because you skip some step and things are not working. But in most of the cases, if you submit assignment and get, let's say, passing grade B, anyway, you don't know what you're doing and why you are doing. So there is no benefits of this B, because this B is not going to give you a job. And if it gives you a job, in 3 months, you will be out, because you have to learn. So in order to learn, first read and then do the assignment. So that is, and of course, learn the software and participate in discussion. Discussion, sharing experience, very important part. This is just a slide you can overview, because we are very proud the way this young program, which is just 6th, 7th year we're starting of the program, and we have a lot of achievement, a lot of recognition for the program and for our students participating in competition. So don't miss the opportunity to participate in competition, because this is the confidence that actually what you are studying this program serve any purpose. Before you graduate, you get this, yes, it does, because it's recognized by some international committee where students for 200 universities of all the world, all continents in the world, including Europe, Asia, United States, Canada, participate, in our student rank in the first, let's say, in first, second, third place. This is a lot of confidence. So the purpose of this slide is just to point your attention. And of course, I understand that many of you, even if motivated, don't have the time. I understand that. Just if you can do it, do it, because the recognition is just helping you get confidence. And actually this confidence, when you go to interview, transpire in the interview, because when you speak, this confidence is in your speaking, and the employer understands this, you know? So boosting your confidence is very important. That's the point I have here. And the structure, how we are going to learn the different topic. So again, Hadoop are 2 weeks, Spark are 4 weeks. Then we have sentiment analysis in memory analytics. And then we have what is the contemporary AI with cognitive analytics. So that is the structure of the course. And each of the 4 main modules I'm delineating is different technology. And we will have a walkthrough like the today's session online, face to, let's say in real time, when we will give you some instruction and a walkthrough through the software, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions, so we can break this barrier of learning new technology every few weeks and be successful to use this technology to apply what you have learned in the project you are doing. So keep in mind the word I'm using. Learn the technology to apply what you have studied in the learning in the assignment, in the project to be successful. So it's very important. It's not the technology by itself, it's using the technology to apply what you have studied. So this walkthrough will be scheduled with time. If you cannot attend then at 8 p.m., we usually do them because this is the time which work for most of the people. People are working full time and having family, so will be recorded. And of course, you have the opportunity to ask questions. That will be the structure with the 4 assignments, which I already mentioned in Hadoop Age-based, machine learning in Spark, sentiment analysis with in-memory analytic, and the cognitive analytic building chatbot using Watson Cognitive. So that will be the 4 main projects. The grading is like in any course in the program. In order to get the B, you need to do what is asked. In order to get the A, you have to go above and beyond of what is asked is in more in-depth analysis and provide your justification why you think this. So you have to go above and beyond. I will give the opportunity, Professor Ozan, to say a few words about the grading, but and then I will proceed to the technology. Ozan?
Yes, Professor. So I would like to everyone please read the assignment descriptions very well and read the rubric very well because we are grading per the rubric and per the assignment description contents. So please read the description and the rubric very well, and please try to deliver everything, and try to start your assignment as soon as possible so that you can have definitely more time and more flexibility. And if you run any issues, so that you can reach out to our TAs as early as possible, and they can help you when you run some technical issues. In addition to our assignments, grading of discussion boards are very important. Each of them are 3 points. Make sure you participate. And if you participate early, most of the people can make comments and participate in your discussion as well, so that you can learn more from your own posting and other people's contributions as well. And maybe we are going to discuss here too, Professor. We are going to have a Kaggle competition, right? It's also going to work 3 points, 3 additional points. So there are lots of opportunities to get, good grades, and so I'm asking everyone to please join and participate all your assignments, all your discussion boards as early as possible.
Thank you, Ozan. Here is a question regarding the quizzes, if it is in deep kind of question or more of a, so usually quiz is to check something. And let's put it this way, most of the quizzes are not graded. But I would say, if it's not graded, you think, oh, I don't have to do it. You have to do it, let me tell you. You have to do it because that is the way you check what you have learned before proceeding to the main assignment. So very important, quizzes, graded, no graded, do it. Because sometime later on, the same thing asked in the question are coming as a sub-point in the major assignment. So the question in the quizzes are, let's say, they look as a simple question, but they check your understanding of the concept of the week or the weeks or the technology or the topic we are studying. Very important. Appreciate your question, Clay.
Professor, in addition to quiz, we also have ungraded assignments as well. So making and finishing those ungraded assignments are also very important because they give them a lot of practice, also a lot of knowledge for the future assignments as well, graded assignments as well.
So there is a question regarding Kaggle competition. We will give video and more instruction, let's say week 2. Actually, who is running and ours is administering and setting everything up is Linish. And Linish is going to provide the instruction in week 2. But Linish, if you want to give some,
Yeah,
insight
let me
right
give an,
now,
yep.
appreciate.
Yep, definitely. So, thanks for the question and Professor Ozan for that plug-in about the competition. Yeah, so this competition, as you just heard, it will be all that information would be coming to you. The good thing is this competition is just primarily for you. Only this class will be participating. So it's going to be your own private competition. It's a very simple data set, and the intent should be to learn all the steps of doing and apply everything that you've learned thus far into just working through that and then solving it, right? And kind of getting onto that Kaggle platform, the world-class platform for competitions. You want to do that more and more. So this would be a great stepping stone for you also. Looking forward to everyone's participation. And once again, start early, right? But we're giving you time, next couple of weeks, get your feet wet with everything that you need to do. Get started with this course, get through your first assignment. And by that time, all the instructions would be ready, everything would be ready. And you'll see a nice video on all the instructions, and you'll get 2 months, almost 7 to 8 weeks to go through that. So if you start early, trust me, it will just take one weekend to go through it, but you'll get multiple weekends to improve upon and do better and better and climb the leaderboard. Okay.
So the question is regarding the duration of the Kaggle competition. There is no strict time. We are launching the competition end of week 2, and you have the whole course until, let's say, a week before the end of the course to do in your available time. It's not like the assignment that they do this day, is just do 1 week before the end of the semester. Why? Because it has to be graded, announce the winner and all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. So in total, you'll get like 7 to 8 weeks, guys, and even a little more. So don't worry about the time. As I said, it's enough time for you to work on along with your assignments and other reading that you have to do. Okay. So it's a simple data set. And yep, as I said, I'm really looking forward to it. And we'll look for that lots of participation and a lot of you folks really competing against each other. And as I said, this is your own competition. So please do not miss this opportunity to participate.
Great. Stay tuned. So I'm running back to the chat and we continue then with the presentation. If the quizzes, you will receive feedback. Quizzes are graded automatically and you will have the correct answer after everyone has submitted. Assignments are graded by the instructor and you will get feedback, which is based on the graded rubric and individual feedback. So let's see, I don't see more questions, so we can, at least at this point, we can go to what is help with the technology. This is very important part. So you already got the idea that the course will be complicated. Don't want to scare you, but the thing is, every 2 weeks you will learn new technology. Even when we start Spark, we start first Spark, the general ecosystem, how it works, and then we start with SQL on Spark. We will use Python on Spark. We will use machine learning, and is at any moment new stuff. So the technology, in order to be successful, you have to follow exactly the instruction as they are, because it's complicated. If you don't follow the instruction, let me tell you, there are a lot of unintended consequences. Some of them we will mention today, some of them are mentioned in the instruction, but understand there are so many unintended consequences that every week we learn about something new. We already learned something new this not first week, first week starts today. The week we just passed, week 0, we already have unintended consequences which never happen again, never happened before. So the thing is, if you don't follow the instruction, something wrong, and sometimes unrepairable. What that means, unrepairable? That you will be not able to use this technology. That's why, first thing, follow the instruction and go to the classroom. Here is, if something doesn't work the way is described, the way you expect your script should work, open a ticket. So in order to get in touch with Elena or Linish, you have to go to the classroom, table of content, help with technology, and click here and open a Salesforce form. Otherwise, they are not in the classroom and they won't know what are your questions. And it's very important. And it's very important when you start to fill this form to follow the instructions which are there. Even though we're talking about technical issue, never click technical support. Technical support is totally different thing. Technical support are the people who reset password, work with new feature. So they have no idea what technology we are using in the class. In order to get help with the specific technology for this specific class, you have to select virtual lab support. Very important. If you do not intend it, the ticket goes there, they don't know what to do, and then it takes 2, 3, maybe 4 days until something clarifies and goes to the right place, and the due date of the assignment is gone. There is a lot of frustration. So please make sure you follow the instruction, and always virtual lab support, nothing else. I know the question here. Is there a way to see issue that may be encountered by our fellow student? It helped. I know that. So let me put it this way. Yes, it's possible, but this is only if your colleagues want to share how the issue was resolved. I will share the screen later, but if you go in your classroom in the discussions, there is one place which is named Q&A. There is Q&A for the professor, and there is another one, help with the technology. So you may wish to share experience there. But this is not to ask the question. So read very well what is there. Is not to ask question, is to share experience, yes. In the classroom, in discussion, okay? And of course, they can provide the answer, but the TA, unless this is a code, we don't want that the student, that you share code with other students, because code is part of your assignment and is graded. But everything else, yes, can be shared. All this inside. And I understand, very good point. Who is Hayas? What is your first name? Anyway, we will learn later. So, Marianne. Okay, Mary. Yes, very important. So I'm going to share, let me finish here. I'm going to share the screen and show you where to do that. So in the previous slide was delineated the different technology we will use in this single class, software as a service, platforms as a service. So the main platform we are going to use is the IBM cloud. It doesn't matter which cloud, just we cannot work with 2 and 3 different clouds in the same class because it's quite cumbersome to give very detailed and specific instruction and support. So we work with which is more convenient for what we are doing. We want Spark, we want machine learning with Spark, we want the Python to be run in the cloud, not in your personal computer, everything in the cloud. We want to do in-memory analytic, white columnar databases. So all these things are listed here, and even it looks like Python, R, and SQL, we will say, oh, I have it in my computer. No, all this is gonna be work in the cloud. So even though you have it in your computer, it's gonna be what is installed in the cloud in the way it is embedded. So you learn the way it has to be, and it will be when the, let's say your employer is asking you, you will learn at least something in the program, which is going to be closer to what the employer are looking today. So this is just a screenshot of how the cloud looks. You already have instruction in the classroom to sign for your account in the cloud. You remember, you sign with your university student email address. Why? Because after you sign for the cloud, anybody can sign for the cloud. You know, many companies pay huge amount of money because the services have a different price. It depends which capability you use. As a student, we have the opportunity to apply to the true IBM academic initiative for a code, which is a feature code, which is giving you access to certain resources which otherwise are quite expensive. And this is what we actually need for the Spark assignment and in memory analytic and in the cognitive part. So you have the instruction. Some of you already have signed it and have obtained the code, and the code is giving you free access to this. It should be trial account and is giving you access 6 months to certain resources which otherwise you are not going to get without this code. So keep this in mind and follow all the instruction strictly, okay? And I'm not going to focus more on this because this is part of the cognitive part we are going to work in the last part of the course, which is based in the contemporary AI and in services in the cloud. It was born, let's say, 6-7 years ago, and today is totally different story. So everybody knows about the IBM Watson cognitive, which play Jeopardy, but today what we are going to use is something which are the cognitive services, which are in any of the cloud. You go to the Azure, Microsoft Cloud, they are similar services. You go to AWS, they have, well, some similar services, not in deep, but what actually Azure and IBM have in this direction is mostly the same. Just we choose to work with the same, let's say, cloud. You get used to the interface for all the assignments. So that's why we are going to work with the IBM cloud. And what's not to do? I'm leaving the best here in this column is Elena to tell you what not to do. The thing is, there are certain things, if you do, they are unrepairable. And who can stress better than me is Elena, please. Elena.
All right, so guys, and I don't want to point any names, etc., because there are some mistakes that have been made from semester to semester, and some of them are new. So please, guys, do not submit any tickets to IBM unless myself or Linesh tell you to do that, all right? Well, I've had students who literally asked IBM for help with code error. This is similar to asking IBM to do your homework. They don't know what you need to get done. So your best place is to ask myself and Linesh, right? Here, well, I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to be telling you all the time, please do not put your IBM, put your credit card into IBM account, okay? Because you cannot undo this. Once you're done, that's it. Your account is no longer academic account. Yeah, they're going to charge you. And I mean that, okay? Now, here, please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account. This cannot be done. Once your IBM Cloud account is inactive, that's it. Okay, well, couple people have done it already, but the good news are, if you do it before you apply the code, I have a solution that I don't advertise, but if it comes to that, I'll talk to you about it. However, if you do it after the code is applied, then because you can get only one code in half a year, right? So please, 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 guys, stay away from that button to deactivate. Now here, do not let your IBM Cloud account expire. So stay tuned. We're gonna tell you what to do later. What you could do, what you're gonna need for, first of all, your account, the code that you get, it gives you access through the end of June. So you're gonna need to do something later in June to renew your access if you choose to use your account for next course. All right. And then most of the assignments cannot be done in one sitting. There was last semester, especially last assignment was an example, because there was a step in the assignment that takes one night to run. You don't need to be at your PC for that night, but there are certain steps in assignment that take time, that has to be run at night, so to speak, and then you come in the morning and you get the result, right? So keep that in mind, that's one reason. Another reason is that because sometimes you run into issue, right? So you need to allow yourself some time to submit a ticket, some time to troubleshoot, and then you have to do the write-up, right? So please don't wait until the last minute. This is a mistake that many students make, and as a student, I made that mistake too in my life. So it's all learning from past mistakes, right? Okay, so yeah, another thing is that if you already applied the code, right? Hopefully you saved the screenshot and you need to upload the screenshot to the assignment. There is an assignment called IBM Cloud, something, right? It's basically pass fail. You need to show the proof to the instructors that you have your account going, okay? So please do that if you have not done so. Oh,
Thank
another
you, Elena.
thing.
There is somebody who opened an account with personal email and
Ah.
deactivated. You, Alfred, you have to open a ticket with Elena. We are not solving this issue here.
One student had to do that because he what happened was he closed his he accidentally deleted his IBM Cloud account. So
no, this is another case. Look in the chat. This is another case.
Sorry,
yeah, but we are not gonna solve this here.
It's okay.
To be
yes. So
ticket open it. And the thing is, the instruction says with student email, if you from before had this, and you cannot deactivate one, I don't think there is a problem to have one with your
you can apply the code to your personal, that's right. But
yes, but he already deactivated. So Alfred opened a ticket for the virtual lab, and Elena is going to do some screen sharing and help you to see what will be the solution for you.
All issues are individual, so I mean,
yes,
there's no prescription, so to speak, right? Yeah. And another thing is that please, guys, check your junk mail, because sometimes things that you get from the email, right? Sometimes email from IBM Cloud could go to junk mail, okay? So please, please, please. Yeah. And yes, if you accidentally deactivate your IBM Cloud account, so please don't do it. But if you did it before you applied the code, then I have a solution. But if you did it after, then you're gonna lose the code. Huh?
Gone. Nothing. We cannot do anything. The thing, there are some stuff which are totally unrepairable. If you apply the core and you accidentally deleted your account, that is no way back. We have tried with IBM, no way. And don't try you to talk to IBM. because they don't know how we use this technology in class. That is the point. When we say, don't talk to IBM, just think about big company who is selling services to everybody, to the government, to everybody. So they have no idea how university is using this technology. So they are, even if they are very friendly, they actually cannot help you. In some cases, even the advice, because this is what is in their mind, was totally destructive from point of view of educational technology we are using. So that is the way we say, do not open a ticket with the IBM support, open a ticket with our virtual team, the university support we have. That's why we have Elena and Linish here with us, because you can feel that these are real people. Even you don't see them in the classroom, these are real people which are going to help you.
Sometimes both of us join the video call, because if it's, especially if it's a new issue, both of us bring things to the table, so to speak. Yeah. Sometimes every semester there is something new that we have not seen happen before. Well, that's normal.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. And this is what to do.
So any other question? Oh, I did something.
Oh,
End
oh,
of
that's the end
slide.
of the slide.
Okay, okay,
No
okay.
problem. Mhm.
The thing is, the chat disappeared from my, huh?
Oh, there is a button
No,
to click on.
no, I don't know
I see
why.
the
Oh,
chat.
here is, but I have to be this way, not full screen now, so I can see the
Ah.
chat. When I'm at the end of the presentation, this happened. Doesn't matter. I don't think this is a big deal. Just, guys, a question in the chat. We are here to answer.
Mhm.
It appeared that most of the questions were answered during the presentation. But anyway, if you think about something, don't hesitate. This is the opportunity. Marianne is asking about the discussion. Are there questions every week? The questions are packed in 2 or 3 week or 4 week. It depends on the topic. For instance, week 1 and 2 is the same topic. And let me tell you, everything is open in the classroom. You can see everything except the assignment. The content is open. The discussion, the discussion are not open because you shouldn't be posting before the actual week. So let's put it this way. If I go back to what is the schedule here, let me see. It's going to be more helpful here. Okay. So there is one discussion for week 1 and 2 is the same, but you have to start anyway and not wait until the last moment. Why? Because there is no point you post the night before the discussion close. That's not discussion. Discussion is you post something and your colleague react. They react on what you have posted, you know. So even though the discussion is week 1 and 2, you have to post your main contribution week 1, and then week 2 is mostly discussion. Then in Spark, we have the discussion is during 4 weeks. Why? Because there is a lot of work and we want everything related in the same discussion. So there is discussion topic week 3, 4, 5, and 6 is the same one. That doesn't mean you have to wait until the end again. Then week 7 and 8 and 9 is sentiment analysis, is the same discussion. And then 10, 11, and 13 is the same discussion in cognitive analytics. Okay. There is a question about office hour. There is our model is asynchronous. UMGC is asynchronous, not synchronous. So we don't. This synchronous session which we do is because of the technology, but actually for teaching, the whole process is totally asynchronous. So we do not have formal office hour, but you can you ask your instructor, and if needed, the instructor can schedule some time with you to explain some stuff, okay? Either in the class or offline, of the class, okay? Oh, excellent question regarding the preferred method for in-person contact with professor if needed. So if this is a question regarding with the material, the best way is in the class, in the discussion. Why? Because everybody will be learning. No personal email, no personal question. If the question is related with the topic, with the material, in class, okay? So everybody can learn, because what can happen is that you think about question, but they are some of your colleagues which are struggling, they are even not able to formulate the question. Let's put it this way. And then whatever the instructor is explaining to you is open for all the class. So everything related with the course material should be conducted in class. Or only totally personal question, like you have some health issue, you are requesting because of health or work issue some extension, this is by email to the instructor, so the class is not going to learn anything from there. But everything related with the material should be in class. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say some people may need clarification on difference between question to instructor versus something that needs to go to Salesforce.
Oh yeah, let me share the other screen. I'm going to stop sharing this and going to share the class around.
Yes, things like code errors that goes to Salesforce. Technical questions.
Okay, so this is 9041, which is my section. And what we talk about content, I want to say that, let me put as a student, so when I talk, I actually talk properly. Okay, here we go. And what you see is all the material. You see all the week are packed, week 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 9, and is by topic, and you have all the resources. When you go to the discussions, it's very important that you pay attention here to the following. You have question for the professor, and if the question, here is the place, question for your professor, everything related with the material is here. Okay, so the whole class can see and learn. Now, if it's related with the technology, with the screen, with the code, with the output you receive, you expect to see this, the way it is explained, but you receive something different, you need help from Elena or Linish. So then you read what is here and you open ticket with the Salesforce ticket, which is right here. And you make sure you read everything which is there, and you open virtual lab and you fill out, provide short description of what is, and attach the screenshot of what is happening. Is very important. And also something very important regarding all this help with the technology. Usually the TA respond very diligently. So they may ask you for additional information to get handle what is going on, because maybe this is issue which is happening to other students and you can get the response immediately what to do. or maybe something haven't seen it before, then the TA may choose to schedule a screen sharing with you and ask you what time you are available. So very important, check email, respond to Salesforce if you receive to schedule screen sharing, because the technology is complex. We are going to work in this class. So sometimes the exchanging email doesn't help, and it's needed to do screen sharing and see in fact what is happening to get something faster. So that's why it's very important. You check your email and you reply diligently, so you will get help diligently. This is what it is. And regarding the discussion, it was previous question I want to share here. Here is the discussion topic for week 1 and 2 is the same. The discussion topic for the other week are not visible yet, but if you go to the course content, you will see. I actually can open them just to read, not in writing, because what we don't want is that you write for week 3 and 4 if the whole class is in week 1 and 2. You understand me? So, but you see, even without being able to write, that the discussion topic for week 3, 6 is the same, even though there is no link to click because it's not available yet until we are not in week 3, but you see is the same topic. The same way you go to week 5, 6, and you see, you don't see other topic. Why? Because it was the same in the previous one, and here you will see the topic for this, which are not available yet. There's no link. So in actually in course content, you can get the idea what is coming on. The only thing, the assignment are not open because you haven't read. We want the process of learning step by step. You learn the concept, you learn anything, and then we open the assignment.
Assignment 2, it has a conditional visibility. So you need to submit the Spark tutorial before it can be visible. Same thing, assignment 3. So there is a pre-assignment that you need to submit before you do that. Yeah. I was going to mention that because people always ask, where is my assignment 3? It's because you have to submit the pre-assignment. Yeah. Expected response time from the TA. Well, if you do it right, within few hours, I would say. But sometimes people don't follow the instructions, the ticket goes in the wrong queue. Well, if that happens, you need to give the ticket number and I'll see if we can find it. Did I answer your question? There is I'm answering question in the chat about the response time. Oh, I'll be honest, sometimes I exceed expectations on response time. So assignment 1 is not in IBM Cloud, Janak. The thing is, we want you to have your IBM Cloud account ready now. So that way there is a little bit of flexibility if the issue happens. Hopefully not, but if there is something, if there are some hiccups, you have time, you have it ready by the time when you need it, week 3. Did I answer it? Okay, cool. I think assignment 1 is already open, right, Ilana?
Yes.
Okay,
it
good.
opened today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but don't proceed to the assignment before the reading. Not helpful, because you very easily can get frustrated and you won't be sure what you're doing and why.
Oh, there is also a video on pseudocode inside the assignment.
Yes.
So that's right.
Yeah, but read the lecture, read the reading, and when you grasp all the concept, week 1 and 2, then you proceed to what is the major assignment, okay? And there is a quiz, okay? The quiz is very important.
Oh, guys, you're lucky because you got an unlimited number of attempts. Remember that when you were taking if you took the data 610 when you had Watson analytics, there was a quiz you had to take. There was only one attempt. Here you get unlimited number of attempts, but the trade-off is that the questions could be in random order. They're taken from the pool of questions randomly. So beware of that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me stop sharing this, and because I cannot see the, okay, cannot see the chat.
I answered some of those, Yelena.
Yeah, I see. No, there is nothing not answered. I see everything has been answered. And remember, the most important thing is you don't get stuck scrambling and ask question. Nothing wrong with asking question, because some students are afraid, oh, I'm going to ask stupid question. No, you have place in the classroom where either you can ask the professor, and if the question is even not the professor, your colleague can post there what they find related, because sometimes they are right there at the moment you are posting your question, and the instructor maybe is gonna take few hours or more to come and see your question. So don't hesitate. Everything related with the material in the classroom.
I think it might be helpful to mention the new rule, 3 days rule. So basically, if I give you the solution, if you give you the solution to the ticket, right? You need to respond if the proposed solution worked for you. If you don't respond, the ticket will be closed automatically in 3 days. And what I would do, I would also notify the instructor. So keep that in mind. But 3 days is a rule, and it's for all courses. If the student doesn't respond for 3 days, the ticket is closed. That's it. You would need to submit new ticket if you're still having an issue. Keep that in mind. And on my end, I would also report to the instructor. So, all right.
I think we don't have more questions. Unless somebody wants to say something, we can end the session. And it took more than usual, hour and a half.
Okay. Thank you.